Today is Saturday the 21st, May 22nd. Today's date. Today is 22nd, Saturday, May 2022. Huh? I'm already. We are supposed to use dates in meditation. Okay, today is 22nd April 2023. This is the first Q&A session of the meditation program conducted by Most Venerable Panadure Chandaratana. So, I have been given the responsibility of reading the questions. So, but before I come to the question, there was I have discussed this with the organizers who is organizing the sound system. This is what I am sitting at the end of the hall. This is addressed to you. Okay. I am sitting at the end of the hall. I cannot hear you well. Could you please increase the volume of the microphone? Thank you. What the organizers are saying is that those who are sitting on the sides of either side, the sound volumes are not that good. So, is that right? That's good. So therefore, if you could try and find places in the main hall that is not on the edges. So, you don't have to be on the periphery, be on the center, middle way. Okay? So that's how to do it. Bante, there are 8 questions today. You advised me this morning that it is better to take the beginner's questions first. So, looking at the questions, there are about 3 which appear to be beginner's questions. So, I will take them up first. Dear Venerable, before again, the Bante in the morning mentioned that he would prefer this to be a discussion session, that if the person who is raising the question wishes to clarify the question or seek any additional information, please put up the hand. There is a mic here. You speak ready. You could come here and ask your question. Please don't speak without the mic. The reason is that people who are listening from the Zoom will be deprived of what you are saying. So they may hear only the answer but not the question. So they could be lost. So therefore, wait until you come here. Thank you. And anyone else, again, the Bante mentioned that anyone else who would like to have a supplementary question or seek any additional information, you may do so, but please keep it to the point, brief and succinct. Okay, thank you. Here is the first question, Bante. Dear Venerable, would you please explain the benefit of meditation? Why we should do this practice?
So actually there are many things. There's one way and one desire. So one way, there are many ways. So another way is and to refer the benefit of mindfulness practice, the wrong has sometimes acting impulsively and can become secondary. So we have start as mindfulness practice and then on the other hand, actually, typically we are and we are doing thoughts. So we very much like control our own thoughts. For the mindfulness practice in the world, help us to understand you and without being a victim of those thoughts, we have a kind of choice. We have a kind of situation where we can recognize these thoughts and understand I think that is one of the ways. So, for example, if you can say even the function there are even possible systems where the function always in particular in the function. So that we can start that later separately like the implementation for the mentally benefits actually, not just one. So the other thing is difficult is to consider our own mind for factor, chatter, and subtle mind we can't fully understand because we can see. So it requires an concentration and it has to be developed. And using some sort of concept, concept for one concept of calm, relaxed mind, only capable of understanding stuff as we feel. So, as a prerequisite for Vipassana practice alone in the so Vipassana alone has so many ways. So, kind of an investigation about yourself, what should be going on with us. So these are two things I want to start with, and as you participate in the discussion, probably you know
Sorry?
Can I just add something to your answer?
Sure, yeah. But you have to come forward then, or you have to...
It's just a form of purification of the mind about the mind. Meditation is a form of purification of the mind.
Sure, definitely.
One word is purification of the mind.
Yeah. There are many benefits. I mean, in terms of the mind, you can say as the purification of mind. And on the other hand, there are other health benefits as well. So now people are connecting things together. So I think people are just asking, Sure.
Thank you, Bhante. This too appears to be a beginner's question, or if not a beginner, the person may be new to the Nissarana Vanaya type of retreats.
Right.
Dear Venerable, this morning you mentioned reports. Could you please explain what and when we use these reports?
Yeah, actually that's an important one. So basically a report was to communicate with the teacher, because individually we are practicing our own and we don't know what we are doing is correct, or whether we are progressing, or whether kind of the action or decision that we have taken is correct. So therefore it is necessary to communicate with another person whom that you think has gone at least a little bit farther. So in that sense, writing a report is very, very important, because otherwise without a teacher, without any guidance, we are simply doing something and we don't know what we are doing, whether it is correct. It can be correct also, but there could be doubts. So one important aspect of the teaching is that we have support our practice through discussion, sakacca anugrahita, kind of support that we are getting through the discussion. And that is what we are trying to do in this session. And the way to communicate is this report. So kind of a standard report basically consists of these three sections, starting with maybe with walking meditation, how you did your walking practice. So what are the sort of experiences that you have experienced, and then what are the challenges or any kind of problems you encounter, and then that is something about your walking practice. Secondly, you can write about the sitting practice. So what is your primary object, how you apply again and again your mind to the primary object, how successful you are and what are your experiences, and then what are the challenges you encounter and how you overcome them. So those are the things that you are mentioning in the second part. Third one is the daily activities. So how you, in the whole day, how you contribute to your practice. So that is also quite important. Then only we can understand that we are sort of fairly dedicated in our practice. It is not that we simply come here in the meditation hall alone and then we practice and then we ignore our practice. Rather, during all other daily activities, we have to contribute to the practice. So these are the three sections that we expect you to write down, and so that we can communicate. And on the other hand, actually, there are many other benefits. Say, for example, when you are writing a question, say we are discussing, and many others also get benefited. It's not only you, that many others who also get encouraged, who also get sort of motivated. So those benefits are also there. So the way to communicate with the yogi is through this discussion. So that is why we encourage you to write the report. Yeah.
Bhante also asked me to give a very brief English version when the question is in Sinhala. So briefly, but not this question, it's only one word. Is samatha or vipassana meditation the only way to develop prajna? In Pali it is called panya, which is wisdom. Can you please explain? Thank you. May you be well.
Yeah, actually, if you consider kind of Dhamma Vichaya, the investigation of the phenomena, so as a bojjhanga, as a say enlightenment factor, so there are many other contributing factors as well. So samatha, vipassana is one aspect. We can say the meditation can be one aspect, but various other forms are also available. Say reading, listening to Dhamma, and reflecting. So sometimes in the Dhamma there are three kinds of wisdom is mentioned. So one type is called Sutameya Panya, what you call as say the knowledge that you gain through reading, listening. So that is the Sutameya Panya. And then once you hear the teaching, whatever the Dhamma, then you can reflect upon it. So you can consider it rationally, logically think about it. So internally you reflect about it, and then that also contribute to develop wisdom. So that is called Chintamaya Panya, kind of a reflective knowledge. And the third one is the one that we are trying to develop here, that is the meditative knowledge or Bhavanamaya Panya. So that is purely experiential. So these are the three types of say wisdom we can consider. So the previous two, that is Sutameya Panya and Chintamaya Panya, actually you can develop in many ways. Nowadays the information, the things are available and you can read, you can listen. So all these actually contribute to some kind of an understanding. But for you to have a direct knowledge, so meditation is a must. Yeah.
Next question, Bhante, it is in Sinhala.
Right.
So I will first read the question in full or?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Let's see.
ගෞරවනීය ස්වාමින් වහන්සේ කලක සිට සමත විපස්සනා පුහුණු කළ අයෙකුනි. පුහුණුව යොමු වී තිබෙන්නේ දැනිට ශරීරය තුළ සිදුවෙන චංචල ස්වභාවය මතය. මේ කම්පන චංචල ස්වභාවය ගලනයක්සේ නිතරම සිදුවේ. සිත නිරායාසයෙන්ම යොමු වෙන්නේ මේ දෙසටයි. මීට පෙර 200 m කියලා තියෙනවා.
200 meters maybe less.
200 m ඔස්සේ මා ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේගෙන් උපදෙස් ලබාගත් විට
Zoom.
පස්සේ ඊට පෙර Zoom ඔස්සේ මා ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේගෙන් උපදෙස් ලබාගත් විට පැවසුවේ සිත එතනින් මෑත් කර ගන්නා ලෙසට හා අනිශ්චිතව සිටිනා ලෙසත්ය. එලෙස කිරීමට උපක්‍රමයක් ලෙස මුලදී මා පුහුණු කළ කර්මස්ථාන යොදා ගන්නට යෙදුණි. සක්මන කරන විට සිත කම්පනයෙන් තොරව පාද ස්පර්ශයට පැමිණ වේදනා ඇති හා නැති අවස්ථා හඳුනා ගැනීමට හැකිය. මෙහිදී වේදනාවද පාද ස්පර්ශය නැතිවන විට වේදනා නිරෝධයද වැටහේ. එහෙත් ආනාපානය දෙස සිහිය යොදන විට තත්වය වෙනස්ය. කම්පනය ආනාපානය සමග එකතු වී එකම කමඨහනක් බවට පත්වේ. ඒ නිසා දැනට සක්මන් භාවනාව වැඩි කළෙමි. තවදුරටත් සිත අනිශ්චිතව තබා ගැනීමට ඔබ වහන්සේගෙන් උදව් උපකාර යටහත් පහත්ව ඉල්ලා සිටිමි. තෙරුවන් සරණයි. සියල්ලන්ට නිදුක් නිරෝගී ජීවිතයක් හා නිර්වාණ සුවය වේවා.
Probably you can read it in English as well.
Very
maybe briefly. Yes.
Now, I'm a yogi who has been used to samatha, which is tranquil meditation, or vipassana, insight meditation, not called meditation, there is nothing called vipassana meditation. It says in this question, samatha and vipassana. පුහුණුව යොමු වී තිබෙන්නේ දැනට ශරීරය තුළ සිදුවෙන චංචල අයෙකු. My practice is geared towards bodily I'm used to the word raptures, but I don't think they mean
this is not raptures. Here it is kind of vibrations, movements.
You mean my practice is geared towards what did you say?
Vibrations.
Vibrations, bodily vibrations. These bodily vibrations appears to be a continuous flow. As a result of that, mind always seems to getting directed towards that.
Right.
Prior to this, over the Zoom, when I sought your advice, what you advised me was Anissitava, I think the best is aloofness. Anissitava, independent or aloofness?
Yeah, independent without associating anything.
I think aloofness is the word for that. What you advised me was stay aloof. Stay aloof. As a guide towards practicing that, I started using my previous meditation objects. When I am walking without bodily vibrations, with the contact of feet, the feelings arising out of the foot contact, I have been able to identify those feelings. During such instances, the feeling, the feet contact, and the cessation of the feelings were also understood. However, when I use breath meditation as my object, the situation is different. The bodily vibration blends with the breath meditation and becomes one single meditation object. Therefore, I have increased the time on walking meditation.
Correct.
I seek your advice to further stay aloof,
correct,
and seek your help for further practice. Thero Saranai, may you all be happy and healthy.
Good. අපි සිංහලෙන් වලින් උත්තරයක් දීලා හිටියොත් දැන් අපි විපස්සනාවේ ටිකක් එහාට යනකොට විශේෂයෙන්ම ධාතු මනසිකාරයට අතර යොමු වෙනකොට ඔයගේ කය පුරා විවිධාකාර සංවේදනා දැනෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඉතින් ඒක පාදක කරගන්න පුළුවන් අපිට නුවණ දියුණු කරන්න. එතකොට අපි කරන්න වෙන්නේ මේ මතුවෙන සංවේදනා වලට අපේ අවධානය යොමු කරමින් ඒවා තුළ අපේ අවධානය පවත්වමින් ඒ තුලින් යම් නුවණක් දියුණු වෙන්න ඒ තුලින් අපි තුමු අනිත්‍ය දුක්ඛ අනාත්ම පැති ටික වැඩෙනකන් ඉතින් කාලයක් ඉන්න ඕනේ කාලයක් වඩන්න ඕනේ. ඉතින් ඒකේ ප්‍රතිඵලයක් වශයෙන් හිත පැමිණෙනවා අර කියන විදිහට අනිසිත තත්වයකට කිසිවක් උපාදාන නොකරන තත්වයකට. ඉතින් ඒක ආවට පස්සේ අපි ඒක තව බහුලීකృత කරන්න අවශ්‍යයි. දැන් ඒක කියලා දෙනවා හරි විවිධ උපක්‍රම භාවිතා කරලා කමඨහන් පාවිච්චි කරලා දැන් මේ අනිසිත බව වඩා ගන්නවා තනා ගන්නවා. ඊට පස්සේ ඒක කොහොමද තව දියුණු කරන්නේ නැත්නම් තව කොහොමද පතුරවන්නේ? ඉකල්ලා තියෙන ක්‍රමෙත් හරි. දැන් හිතන්න අපි ඒක පටන් ගත්තේ ඉඳගෙන කරන භාවනාවේදී නම් ඊට පස්සේ අපි ඒක ව්‍යාප්ත කරන්න අවශ්‍යයි සක්මනට. සක්මනේදී බලනවා ඒ වගේම කයේ දැනෙන විවිධාකාර වගේ සංවේදනා මූලික කරගෙන යම්කිසි අවබෝධයක් ඇති කරගන්න. ඒ අවබෝධය වැඩෙනවත් එක්ක හිත නැවතත් අනිශ්චිත වෙන්න පුළුවන්. අනිශ්චිත වුණාට පස්සේ නැවතත් අපි ඒක සක්මන් කරනවා. හැබැයි හිත කොහොමවත් පිළිట్లా නැතුව. හිත කොහොමවත් පවත්වන්න නැතුව. හිත එතකොට තියෙන්නේ ඉන්ඩිපෙන්ඩන්ට් නැත්නම් මේ කොහෙවත් උපාදාන නොකර. ඒ තත්ත්වය බහුලීකృత වෙන්නේ ඉතින් ඒ වගේම තමයි. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි හිතන්නේ දැස කනවා බොනවා ඒ වගේ වැඩ කටයුත්තක නිරත වෙනවා. පුළුවන් දෙයකට අනිශ්චිතව හිත පවත්වාගෙන යන්න ටිකක්. එහෙනම් අපි ධර්මදින අනිශ්චිතව හිත පවත්වාගෙන කරා. එතකොට ඇත්තටම මේ භාවනාව වැඩෙන්නේ අපි ඉඳගෙනම කිරීම තුළ නෙමෙයි. ඉඳගෙන අපිට කොහොමත් හිතතර අනිශ්චිතව පවත්වන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි පුළුවන් දැන් මට සක්මනේදී ඒක ව්‍යාප්ත කරන්න. සක්මනේදී ඒ තත්ත්වය ගන්න. පුළුවන් ද ධර්මදින වලත් ඒක ගන්න. පුළුවන් ද කෑම කනකොටත් ඒක ගන්න. පස්සේ යනකොටත් ඒක ගන්න පුළුවන්ද? හිටගෙන ඉන්නකොටත් ඒක ගන්න පුළුවන්ද? ඉඳගෙන ඉන්නකොටත් පුළුවන්ද? සතපිලා ඉන්නකොටත් පුළුවන්ද? කියලා ඉතින් ඇත්තට මේ අනිශ්චිත භාවනාව අපේ හිත තුළ තව වැඩෙන්න ඉඩ දෙන්න තමයි තියෙන්නේ. ඉතින් ඒක එදිනදා කටයුතු වලදී උත්සාහ කරන්න පුළුවන්. ටිකක් මොකක් හරි අපි දැන් තව කෙනෙක් කතා කර ඉඳද්දී හිත අනිශ්චිතව පවත්වන්න පුළුවන්ද? ඒ වගේ අර හිතේ නිකන් ගොඩනැගිච්ච මොකක්වත් උපාදාන නොකරන තත්ත්වය ගැන දැන් නිකන් විශ්වාසය පවත්වමින් මේක තව හොඳට තහවුරු වෙන්න ඉඩ දෙමින් යන ගමනක් තමයි තියෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා තමන්ම පොඩ උත්සාහ වෙන්න කොහොමද මේ විවිධ කටයුතු වල යෙදෙනකොට හිත උපාදාන කර තියෙනවා. අනිශ්චිතව තියෙනවා. නැත්නම් කොහෙවද තාම වැඩියෙන් නැඹුරුවක් තියෙන්නේ. හිතන්න සද්ද ඇහෙනකොට හිත අපිටම උපාදාන කර තියෙනවා. හැබැයි රූප බලනකොට තාම හිත උපාදාන කරනවා. ඒකට අපිට තේරෙනවා අපේ හිතේ වැඩි ප්‍රවණතාවයක් තියෙනවා රූප සම්බන්ධ. අපේ හිත හුඟක් ඉන්ට්‍රෙස්ටඩ් නැත්නම් අපේ හිත හුඟක් උනන්දුයි රූප සම්බන්ධයෙන් ශබ්ද ගැන එච්චර ගාණක් නැහැ. කියලා අන්න තමන්ට නිකන් අර තමන්ගේ චරිතය ගැන හඳුනා ගන්න පුළුවන් ආශ්‍රම අංශයේ පැත්ත කොහෙද වැඩිපුර යෙදලා තියෙන්නේ කියලා අඳුන ගැනීමක් කරන්න පුළුවන් මේ වගේ අපිම අධ්‍යයනය කරා. අනිත් එක ඉතින් මේ මට්ටමකදී අපි හිත හිර කරගෙන මේක වඩන්න බෑ. හිතට පොඩ්ඩක් නිදහස දෙන්න ඕනේ කැමති විදිහට හැසිරෙන්න කියලා. එතකොට තමයි හිත එහෙම යන්න ගන්න. එතකොට පුළුවන් මට නැවතත් හිත අනිශ්චිත කරන්න. දැන් ඕකට හොඳ සූත්‍රයක් තමයි මේ ඉන්ද්‍රිය භාවනා සූත්‍රය. එතකොට ඉන්ද්‍රිය භාවනා සූත්‍රයේදී බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ දේශනා කරන්නේ දැන් රූප බලද්දී හිතේ නැවතත් ගොඩනගෙන අංශ මනාප තත්ත්වය. නැත්නම් අමනාප තත්ත්වය. එහෙම ගොඩනගෙනහම පුළුවන් නැවතත් මේ මනාප හෝ අමනාප කියන දෙපැත්තේ ඉන්න නැතුව වැරද්දට ගන්න. ඊළඟට සද්ද අහද්දිත් ඒක. සද්ද අහද්දිත් හිතේ ගොඩනගෙන පුළුවන් මනාප තත්ත්වයක් අමනාප තත්ත්වයක් පුළුවන් මේ දෙපැත්තේ ඉන්න නැතුව වැරද්දට ගන්න. ඉතින් ඒක යොහුසුව කරන්න අවශ්‍යයි. ඒක තන්ත්‍ර ප්‍රැක්ටිස් එකක් තියෙනවා. මුලදී ඒකට යම්සි වෙලාවක් ගත වෙන්න පුළුවන්. පස්සේ ඉතින් අපේ ප්‍රැක්ටිස් එක හරහාම මේක ඉක්මනට ගන්න පුළුවන් තත්ත්වයක් ගොඩනගෙනවා. ඒ නිසා හිතට යන්න දීලා බලන්න. හිත හිර කරගෙන ව්‍යායාමකින් අතර කරගෙන බලන භාවනාවක් නෙමෙයි දැන් තියෙන්නේ. දැන් තියෙන ගාක් නිකන් નિરાයාසයෙන් වෙන්නේ ඉඳ හරින භාවනාව. හිත ගිහිල්ලා පොඩ්ඩක් පැටලෙන්න දීලා නිදහස් කරගන්න. රූපයකට පැටලෙන්න දෙනවා, පැටලුනොත් ඉතින් නිදහස් කරගන්න. සද්ද වලට යන්න දෙනවා, පැටලුනොත් නිදහස් කරගන්න. ගන්ධ සුවඳට, රසට, ස්පර්ශයට, අරමුණු වලට කොහොමද මේ හිත ඕන්ට වඩා නිකන් බල කිරීමකින් වළක්වාලීමක් කරන්නේ නැතිව කොහොමද නිදහසේ ඉන්න දීලා මෙයා වඩා. ඊට පැත්තක් තමයි දෙන්න කරන්නේ. So what I was mentioning is that so whoever has written talking about the anisita state, or we can say kind of a non-associative state or type of independent state, free state of the mind. The mind is avoiding any kind of clinging or grasping. So that is part of vipassana, or we can say it's a result of vipassana. So if you refer Satipatthana Sutta, Buddha again and again emphasize. So in each and every section, say if you are practicing Satipatthana for a while, not for a while, I mean a considerable period of time, so you can reach this anisita state, where your mind is not associating anything. So your mind has the capacity to be alone, kind of not attaching to anything, not holding anything, not grasping anything. So that is kind of a result that you may encounter momentarily at the early stage. But later, as a result of your practice, again and again, repeated practice, so you may reach that state again and again. Then it becomes kind of a noticeable state of your mind. Previously, it's not that noticeable, but later it becomes noticeable. And so, as you have mentioned in this section, so you have tried various methods, not just one method. So many methods are available to reach this state, and one can reach that state. And once you reach that state, then it's a matter of consolidating that state. Say, am I capable of taking that state while in walking? Say you started experiencing that first in the sitting, probably now you want to experience that even in the walking. Am I capable of doing that? Say, while talking to another person, are you capable of doing that? Say, are you capable of doing that while brushing teeth, while eating, while drinking, etc., etc.? So likewise, it's a matter of enhancing that, developing that, propagating that state to each and every daily activity scene. And at this level, actually, you have to allow your mind to freely move rather than restricting it, rather than controlling it. It's a matter of now allowing it to freely move and now you need to step back and look at how it is behaving. So if it get entangled, it's your duty to release it. It's your duty to detach it. So one interesting sutta you can refer is the Indriya Bhavana Sutta, where Buddha gives a very practical advice. Say while keeping your eyes open, it can lead to a kind of a grasping. It can lead to a kind of agitated state. It can go to either happy state or kind of a worried state. Manapa and amanapa. So, and Buddha's advice is don't stay in those two extremes, come back to the middle. So it can even happen through the years. So when you listen to something, it can shift to either to the happy state or to the unhappy state. So Buddha encourages us not to be in this happy or unhappy state, come to the middle. That is where the equanimous state. So equanimity at this level is not just kind of mere equanimous feeling. Here it is an ungrasping state of mind, which also equanimous. So that is what Buddha encourages us to be, kind of developing it. So it's a completely a practical encouragement in the Indriya Bhavana Sutta. So while looking at various things, your mind can get entangled, and it can lead to happy state or unhappy state. And while listening to various things, again mind can go to happy state or unhappy state. While, say, sensing various odors, again it can go to happy state or unhappy state. While tasting various delicacies, tastes, again it can go to happy state or unhappy state. And once you go through various touching sensations, tangibles, again it can go to happy state or unhappy state. And various thoughts also can lead to happy state or unhappy state. So this is just a day-to-day living. So while day-to-day living, so we are allowing your mind to freely move. But recognize all these two extremes, the two sides we can say, happy or unhappy. Now it is your duty to bring it to the middle, which is unassociated, non-grasping, and equanimous. Etam samtang, etam panitang, nadidang upekha. This is sublime, this is peaceful, this is peaceful, this is sublime, that is the equanimity. So that's the encouragement that the Buddha is giving us. So that is what we need to practically develop. So it is not that we simply develop that within the meditation hall. So that will be a very kind of say restricted and artificial type of environment. But during the day-to-day activities, how are we going to maximize that? So that is the encouragement. Yeah.
May I please ask a question?
Yeah.
You mentioned, Bhante, the Indriya Bhavana Sutta.
Yes.
I think this is the Majjhima Nikaya last one, 152. Yeah. So in that one, I think if I may remember that Buddha specifically says two words, features and characteristics, which is nimitta and anubhyanjana, contentment without being attached to anything. Is that exactly what you were saying? You are content that you are equanimous without being attached to?
No, it's not mentioned as anisitocha vihirati there.
Not there, but
Yeah.
it is in the Satipatthana Sutta.
Satipatthana Sutta. Yeah.
But in there, when he is explaining,
Yeah.
he says the Sutta that he says, Ananda, that then all Brahman.
Exactly. So that is where it is not that you are keeping yourself closed eyes and not hearing sounds, and that's a very restricted environment. So if someone is telling, so I am keeping myself within the meditation hall with complete equanimity, but when my eyes are open, I get distracted and mind get agitated. So that means while keeping your eyes open, you can't maintain that state. So once you open your eyes, your mind get distracted. But in such situation, that's why the challenge. So that Parasariya, the teacher, Brahmin, so he encouraged to keep your eyes closed, ears closed, etc. So it's a kind of a restricted type of practice. So mainly in kind of sense restraint. But Buddha's advice is not mere sense restraint is also there at the sila level. But when you are developing to the level of vipassana, then the yogi may have to have a kind of a capacity, even while keeping eyes open, to keep the mind unassociated. And even while sounds are available, how to keep the mind unassociated. Even when eating, say, drinking, and maybe touch sensations are going on, all these things are there, still mind is free, mind is not attached. So it's a very interesting area, actually, very interesting area. Yeah. Okay, probably someone can volunteer to take the mic. Maybe then I think that would be easier. You all can stay there, then. Yeah. Yeah. We'll do in English, no? Because this thing is, yeah. Right.
And what's happening in meditation is, whenever I'm awake,
right.
I'm always there in the vibration. And when I talk to you using Zoom, and you said, get the mind detached from there and live unepisodic, not into local body.
Correct.
So I was trying to practice that.
So now, if I interrupt you, now vibrations are always there, but at the beginning we use it as a mechanism to develop some kind of understanding. So once the understanding is developed, so then now if you have the capacity to keep your mind unassociated, anisita, if you have the capacity, now you don't need to go back and, investigate further here. Because now you have the capacity to just keep it aloof, as he mentioned. It's not associating anything. Correct.
And mind was always there. Then I thought I am getting attached to it. Maybe I can like into it. And then I thought I should get that liking a bit. This is all, I wasn't thinking much about it, but this sensation takes me there wherever I go.
Yeah, it is there, definitely. Yeah.
And I thought, okay, I had to put it out there.
Yes.
And then concentrate on whatever I'm doing mindfully.
But that is also, purposely concentrating is not the practice now. Now, purposely concentrating is necessary at the beginning of our practice, say, because our mind gets distracted if we are not concentrating, if we are not purposely being mindful. So that is the must to do for a beginner, because otherwise mind gets distracted. But
I'm always mindful.
right.
Actually, this vibration is like part of the living.
Correct, definitely.
It's just living.
Yeah.
And then I thought, I think I misunderstood the reality. I thought I'm attached to that sensation. So I thought I will break away from that and go back to my normal meditation of breath.
No.
I did that. I did that. But what happened was, walking, I could feel that contact and feelings come together when I put down. And I can feel it from this corner to that corner, rising and passing. And then when I lift the foot, and that sensations are not there. Then I thought, okay, I'm feeling that sensation as well as I'm observing the
Sensation of feelings, yes.
And then I thought, okay, that was okay. And then I went back to breath meditation. However, I practiced very hard to get my mind or my object to be breath, but it doesn't happen.
No, actually not necessary.
It comes to that.
Not necessary actually. Thing is, now here the state of anisita is not that something that we striving to achieve and we are purposely getting. Rather, it's a matter of you recognize all the characteristics of different phenomena. So as a result of that, the insights are developing. So insights are capable of releasing the attachment, the grasping. It's not that you purposely, forcefully detach. Rather, the knowledge that you gather through the observation is capable of releasing your mind from all these attachments. So then it's a matter of maintaining that. So maintaining that is also difficult because our mind always has, the asava, anusaya, all these different latent tendencies are available. Till the latent tendencies are available, again and again we get hooked up. So at that time, the mindfulness has to indicate, okay, again, mind get attached. At that time only we need to, participate, or we need to participate into the present and simply keep it away. And again, take it back to the middle, where without attachment, maintaining the mind. So therefore, it is very much like just being in the meditation, rather than doing something. So very interestingly, nowadays, John Kabat-Zinn, so he used the term, you need to shift from doing mode to being mode. So previously we were doing, we are doing meditation. Karana bhavana. So it's a matter of doing meditation. You are practicing, striving, purposely maintaining mindfulness, all these things are there. But later, as the result of the practice, suppose once you get this insight knowledges which are capable of releasing the mind, so now you need to switch your practice as well. So it is not purposely now you are using the meditation object as such, primary object, anapanasati or whatever it is. It is necessary till you gain capacity. So once the capacity is available, it's a matter of just being there. Yeah. Right.
It was just a sensation and practice was just that.
I think that should be all right. Now you don't need to, now this, the vibrations and all these subtle sensations are there, and if necessary you can look at them, then going back to anapanasati is not necessary.
I understand. So, but what was happening, I could experience some other thing also. When the vibrations are there, I just don't make any notice of it, but it's just there.
Mm-hmm.
When my mind gets either happiness or unhappiness, then it gets really, really powerful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I kind of understood mind and body phenomena there. Is that right?
Yeah, no problem. You can investigate, you can get some understanding how these are interrelated. So what are the dependencies, etc. But all this has to lead to unassociated mind. So the result of all the practice, so Buddha mentioned, is this unassociated mind.
So just be
Yeah. It is very much like our home. So it is very much like the home of the mind. And when it is distracted, when it is attached to something, so it has shifted from the home. So how well, how easily, how successfully we can maintain the home position. That can become kind of the goal of the practice then. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
Can I just answer that question?
Yeah, one moment.
I just wanted to say when I did vibrations one day, I feel the earth element because of the particles.
Correct.
And so I just know that that's part of my makeup.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the makeup of the next person and the environment and the trees and the whole world. So
correct.
All just one.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I do it and I just move on.
Sure. It depends on, where your practice is. At the beginning, it's a matter of further understanding all these different element characteristics. So as you said, it may be vibrations, it may be, hardness, softness, etc. So it is a must to recognize these things and to understand their true nature. So that's why it takes time to investigate these different phenomena. And if one is doing that happily, successfully, then that is good. And ultimately, the knowledge that you gather through this investigation leads to anisita state, leads to unassociated state. But we don't need to, push to achieve that. You can't do it. It's a matter of it's a matter of continuing our practice. So the practice will takes care of taking us to there. It is not that we forcefully achieving that, rather we happily, as you said, successfully, with contented mind, So we are investigating these different phenomena. So then it will take care of taking us to the next level. Yeah.
The lady feels it all the time, she says, when we are it's just...
it's there. It's there.
It just creates the element and my mind is right?
Yeah, definitely. Right. Correct. So actually these different sensations are part of the life, part of the body. I mean, when our mind comes to the body, more and more it associates the body. So definitely we can recognize them, because we can't recognize them because our mind is too much distracted. But when we have a amount of mindfulness, body awareness, then definitely we can recognize them, and we don't need to forcefully stop them. We can't actually stop them, and then we have to die. Right.
She obviously has more than others.
Yeah. Right.
That's how I do it.
Correct. Oh, nothing to it. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Here.
A lot is made of this experience of vibration in the Goenka tradition and related traditions of the Vipassana, right?
Correct.
So I want to understand, as you said, this vibration is something that's there all the time. We just don't notice it. It's more still.
Right.
So it's just that when those vibrations are noticed, you can see something in the body which is arising and passing away.
Correct.
By moment.
Correct.
So you notice that, and then it might fade away. But like she said, at other times it can just come upon you, overwhelmed. And I'm thinking that it's because at those moments, not because you're trying, but at those moments, the mind has become a bit more still. And so you suddenly become aware. That's all it is.
Can. Yes, definitely. I mean, even though we say that mind is now collected, as you said, I mean, how these faculties are well balanced. So when everything is well balanced, then immediately, you get a kind of a clear understanding about these vibrations. So no problem. Immediately we can't say precisely recognize all these vibrations, but when everything is coming together, everything is in the proper, say, balance, refinement, then only you can properly see all these different vibrations, and using which the mind is getting kind of the wisdom, developing fair amount of wisdom, and wisdom will take care of the next stages. Yeah.
You just notice it and that's it.
That's it. So, yeah, correct. Yeah. So another thing is that as we continue the practice, if mind tries to detach from them, so the yogi should not strongly, purposely say and forcefully take it back. That is also disturbing the process. So the more the understanding available, so mind will take care of slowly maintaining kind of a distance from this observation. So it's a kind of a passive observation. Rather than, kind of a more active observation, so it become more passive observation, mind become more detached. So it is now ready to leave them aside. So at that time, if the yogi is too striving mood, can again bring it back forcefully and try to push it to observe these things. So that is not necessary. So there are different stages actually. We can discuss how a yogi will perceive these things, say how he or she can't even recognize what they are. So things get mixed up and you can't distinctly recognize different characteristics. So like that is how they may experience it. So these transitions. Right.
Thank you, Bhante. Next question. Dear Bhante, walking. I walk mindfully every day at home. Here I was mostly walking outside on the road. I feel a wave of moving from feet to head most times. Sometimes these waves disappear and the thoughts also cease to exist. Only the surrounding becomes the object of attention as the body is out of focus. The surrounding appear and can be heard as a stream unending. It feels very relaxing to be at this present moment. However, this state fluctuates with waves in the body after 5 to 10 minutes. Next is sitting. Shall I?
Correct. Yes, yeah.
Sitting. When I sit, I pay attention to what is happening in my body. Usually it is following the movement of waves. After some time, the mindfulness is lost for some period. This state is close to a sleep, but not sleep. However, I fear losing into sleep. Should I stop sitting and focus more on walking, as it is closer to the realistic situation we are living in? Much merits, Bhante.
Yeah. May I know who has written it?
Myself.
Yourself? Okay. Probably you can pass the mic to him. So basically, I mean, what you are experiencing in walking is also good. Say, you start with paying attention to the body, and ultimately mind sort of become kind of expanded to the surrounding, and it is not positioned at any particular place. So what is the difference what you do in the sitting practice?
In sitting also I start with following these vibrations in the body.
Right.
Most of the time it's like that. And then after a while, kind of losing that mindfulness.
Then you fall asleep?
Not really. Sort of lose the mindfulness.
Okay. I mean, anyway, what's the result like?
After some time, maybe 10 minutes, I get back to these vibrations.
Okay. Now, it's all right. Now, getting back vibrations is fine. And once you get back those vibrations, and after some time, again, you go to that kind of sleepy state? Not sleepy.
It is not sleepy, but it's kind of close to sleep as well.
But it can be a good state. You know,
yeah,
the thing is,
I know that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's very close to sleep as well. So I have that fear. I have never, in my knowledge, I haven't gone to the sleep. Right. So I don't want to go to sleep.
Thing is, if you, in order to avoid going to sleep, so if you purposely again forcefully bring your attention back to vibrations, that is also not the way.
Yeah. My question was whether I should continue or increase the time on walking rather than sitting, because probably I have what I have to get from sitting.
Now, if you can now say, now the result what you gain in walking is fine. Now that is where, say, you start with paying attention to all these different sensations, and once mind get fair amount of understanding through that, then it will let go of things, and then it has this expanded kind of experience. Fine. And but the thing is, in the sitting, you may not get immediately to that expanded view, but you may get to a kind of a state where, say, mindfulness become more kind of a soft kind of mindfulness. So actually, what we developed at our early stages, kind of a deliberate kind of mindfulness. But later, it becomes a more soft, more gentle, kind of freely available, effortless kind of mindfulness. And we need to encourage that also. So if we are not allowing that, and if we are simply avoiding that, that is also not the thing. That's what I was thinking, what would be the best way of doing it. So, but have you allowed yourself to leave it in that state and see whether the mind goes to sleep or?
Yeah, it's not going to sleep. Yeah, I have gone to a state where I have mindfulness and I don't see the vibrations, and it's more kind of free kind of a state.
Exactly.
Yeah, and came back as well.
Correct.
Now it seems like there's no sort of object to cling
to.
Yeah. Just like in the water. Now you don't have it.
Everything. Exactly. So that is what we need. Because so mind always tends to hold something, tends to look for something to hold, but now it loses everything. There is nothing to hold. So now we need to encourage that. But it's pretty boring. I mean, nothing is there, nothing to do, and there is nothing to hold. So we feel kind of discouraged being in that. But I need to encourage you to be in that, and because that is what Buddha encourages. Actually, we miss this state without the Buddha, with this teaching. That's what we were doing. Basically, I mean, here there is no eye making, there is no mind making, there is no any kind of comparison and no defilements. There's no attachment or any kind of anger. So all the defilements are not available. But it's peaceful, but not kind of an exciting state. So therefore we simply ignore that. And we even avoid that. But that is the state we need to be, we need to sort of allow our mind to get familiar with. Therefore, how about just being there for some time? Slowly, I mean, it's not that you are being there for a long time, but be there just for 10 minutes. Next time you can try for 15 minutes. Next time you can try 20 minutes. So likewise, slowly allow the mind to get familiar with that kind of a state. So rather than avoiding that, because even here, have you ever gone through kind of a deeper, we can't say concentration, but kind of a samadhi state also? Have you ever?
I would say those like 5-10 minutes period.
Right.
Is kind of a samadhi, I think.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because here there are, many technical things are happening here actually. So at the beginning, as she mentioned, we can use different techniques to reach this state. And after that, when we are considering that, when you are encouraging that state, it's very much like converting into a kind of a samatha state. That is also necessary. Now we should not avoid that state either. I mean, purposely taking our attention back to various phenomena and trying to investigate is not the practice here. Rather, we have to take to this samatha-like state. So that is explained if you refer Salayatana Vibhanga Sutta. So Buddha mentioned, so different methods are available to come here. So therefore, the initial result of this is mentioned as upekha nanatta nanattasita. So the equanimity that you are gaining through different multitude of methods. Upekha nanatta nanattasita. But ultimately it becomes very much like samatha as you are more familiar with. When Buddha mentioned it is as upekha ekatta ekattasita. It's very much like a samatha. So we came through vipassana, but now very much like mind is staying in a kind of a samatha state. And you can simply be there. You can simply put your mind there without going through all these different techniques. So therefore, it's a kind of merge of vipassana and samatha together. So we can't, completely divide it. Rather, they are helping each other. So therefore, I feel better stay there for some time. Then you can even develop this kind of a samadhi, vipassana samadhi there. So if you avoid that, then you are not giving enough time to develop that. Say you are only staying there for just 10 minutes, then it is not enough. Say you can develop it maybe 30, 40 minutes, and then slowly it may settle. It's kind of settling the mind, allowing it to settle, become tranquil, but without any object.
Yeah, I think it's probably my misunderstanding that it's not really very important. The kind of the walking meditation I'm having is eyes open and you see the surroundings.
Correct.
Real.
That is also necessary. Definitely, that is also necessary. That's what we discussed in the Indian Bhavana Sutta. Say how we are further maximizing that state. So while walking, while standing, while eating, how are we going to have that state? That is also necessary. This is also necessary. Because this is the place that you are more confident. It is there. And it has become more, so mind has a deeper registration of that state when you are there. So therefore, no need to avoid that. So if you can be there for say 45 minutes, and if you are there for a long time, then I will discourage you to be there. Because you have been there. Because you have been there, your mind has very well recognized that. Then definitely I will tell you, no, now you need to go to walking. But here I feel you better stay there for some more time.
Yeah, I prefer walking from the beginning. So maybe that's why I'm pulling that direction.
Correct.
And, now I understand.
Correct. Correct.
So
Yeah.
I will tell you in Sinhala because I can explain in Sinhala better than in English. Science මමත් මොහොතන ඔය ස්ටේට් එකක තමයි ඉන්නේ. සිතුවිලි වල නිින්ද යන ස්වභාවයද නිින්දද කියලාත් හරියට තේරෙන්නේ. ඉතින් මම ඒක ගියා හොඳට බලන් ඉන්නවා. සමහරවිට මට තේරෙනවා නිකන් මම ෆිල්ම් එකක් බලනවා වගේ නිකන් අර සිතුවිලි සංස්කාර ගලාගෙන යනවා ගතියක්. හරි. ඒකම බොහොම ඒ ටිකටම බලන් ඉන්නකොට එකපාරට පුදුම නිශ්චලතාවයකට එනවා. හරි. මේ අනේ එතන ඉන්නත් ඕනේ.
ඒ කියන්නේ එතන නිශ්චලතාවයක් තමයි තියෙන්නේ. තනිකර ස්ටිල්නස්.
ඒක තනියට බෑ තරංග very calm.
Exactly. තනිකරම. ඉතින් එතන අපි පොඩ්ඩක් ඉඳලා පුරුදු කරනවා. කියන්නේ එතන ඒ ස්ටිල්නස් කියන එක peaceful. ඒක මොකක්වත් නැහැ මේ distractions, මොකක්වත් agitations, මොකක්වත් නැහැ නිකන් just peaceful. ඉතින් අපි ඒක නිකන් skip කරන්න හොඳ නැහැ. ඒක චුට්ටක් එතන ඉඳලා නිකන් මනසට ඒක හුරු කරලා දෙන්න මෙහෙමත් ඉන්න පුළුවන්. මේ වගේ හැකියාවක් තියෙනවා මනසේ කියලා යාට චුට්ටක් උගන්වන්න, යාට චුට්ටක් ඒක තේරුම් ගන්න ඉඩ දෙන්න. පස්සේ ඒක කැඩෙන්න ගන්නත් ඕන. දැන් ඊට පස්සේ නිකන් එළියේ යන ගමන් කොහොමද මේක ආයි කැඩෙන්නේ? ආයි අපිට මේක අහිමි වෙන්නේ. එතන තමයි විපස්සනාවක් වෙන්නේ ඊට පස්සේ.
ස්වාමීන් දැන් මට මේක භාවනාවක්ද නැද්ද කියලා හරියටම තේරෙන්නේ.
හරියටම ඔන්න ඒ වගේ තමයි ඉන්නේ. يعني මේක ඒක හිතනවා මේක භාවනාවක්ද?
සතිය ටිකක් ඉස්සරහට දාගන්න එක වැරදි.
ඉතින් සංස්කාරණ කරන්නේ.
ඒක සංස්කාරය.
දැන් හිතන්න ඒකයි මම කිව්වේ මුලදී අපි වඩන භාවනාව මුලදී අපි වඩන සතිය තනිකරම purposeful deliberate තනිකර forceful නේද අපි නැත්තම් මනස අතරතේ දුවනවානේ දැන් පස්සේ ඔතෙන් ඔය වගේ මට්ටමකට තමයි සතිය තමයි තියෙන්නේ සතිය කියන එක නිකන් සාමාන්‍ය දෙයක් වඩපත් වෙනවා සතිය කියන එක නිකන් effortless mindfulness ඒක අපි purposely කරන්නේ විදිහට කාය සංස්කාර කරන්නේ සංස්කාර මත පවත්වන සතියක් නෙමෙයි දැන් තියෙන්නේ නිකන් හිතට උණු වෙච්ච සතියක් සංස්කරණ වලින් තොරව ආයෙත් සතිය. ඒක නිකන් මනසේ නිකන් ඩිෆෝල්ට් නේචර් එකක් වෙලා. නේද?
ඔව් ඒක තේරෙනවා ඉස්සරහට.
එච්චරයි. ඔව්. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි දැන් හිතන්න අපි හැමතිස්සෙම කලේ කරනක් තියෙනවනේ. ඒත් අපි කාර්ද මේකේ මේ ඉවරයි නේද? අපි එනවා නිකන් අර යම් සිම්පල් මම කියන්නේ හැමතිස්සෙම නොකරන මට්ටමක් තියෙයි කියලා. ගිහිල්ලා කොහෙද හරි හේතුවක් ආයෙ බේර ගන්න වෙනවා. හැබැයි මේකෙන් හදලා දෙන ලස්සන නිකන් සංස්කරණ නොකර ඉන්න පුළුවන් තත්ත්වයක්. ඒක මුලින් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මුලින් අපි මානව සංස්කරණ සහිතව මේ සෑහෙන කන්සන්ට්‍රේෂන් වලින් ඩවුන් වෙලා ගහගෙන රටක් ගහගෙන තාප්පයක් බැඳගෙන අපි ඉන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ මේ කැඩෙන්න දීලා ප්‍රශ්නයන් සරලව ඉන්න පුළුවන් විදිහට හැදෙනවා. හොඳයි.
Related to this, or maybe not, I don't know, to be positive or negative.
Right.
If I sit down an hour or more than an hour, so I kind of like disoriented. My body is going everywhere.
You mean your body like this?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
I feel like a body.
Yeah, that has to be avoided.
Yeah.
So that is that.
Dropping down, like
correct. I mean, how long are you being in this state?
It has happened a few times.
Few times. No, I mean now, are you losing the control of your body or?
There's no shape, and it's like moving, like this.
No.
Body is expanding or going.
No, I need to verify now. You are. I mean, if you open your eyes, your body is stable. But you perceive during your meditation that it is melting and changing. That's what we are talking. That's also fine. That's fine, actually. Nothing to worry. Because I misunderstood thinking that your body actually has, kind of these kind of movements. It is okay.
When that happened, I opened my eyes.
Right. But the body is calm and just fine.
Something is happening, and then I open my eyes.
No need. I mean, just continue. Because even you practice anapanasati, mindfulness of breathing, sometimes your typical perceptions can change. Say one situation may be, say you as a kind of a far away person, you being in far away, you're looking at the body which can become a smaller thing. And probably you then become far away, but body has expanded. So all these things are possible. And those are not permanent. So things may change. And it's a matter of continuing the practice. Later you may lose all these different things. So these are simple different, we can say landmarks or milestones of the practice. And you don't need to consider them too seriously. But showing or indicating that we are moving forward. So these things will disappear after some time.
That is, I don't like to sit down on the chair because I am not confident.
But the thing is, make sure that your body remains quiet, calm, without the physical elements. Rather, it is your perception that actually has changed. Not real thing. Yeah. That perception will change. It will change to a different thing. And probably, in your practice, what are you keeping as your primary object?
In the beginning, I started breath, but after that, I looked at body sensations.
Right. So if you once you develop a fair amount of concentration, just observe these different sensations. So that will contribute to develop wisdom. Yeah, we can move forward. Yeah.
May I sing?
Okay.
This is also another question in English. අවසර ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ, මේ මාගේ ප්‍රථම නිවාසික භාවනා අත්දැකීමයි. පළමු වන දවසේදී මාගේ අත්දැකීම් පහත පරිදි වේ. 1. සක්මන් භාවනාව. මෙහිදී මම සක්මන් තීරුවක් තෝරාගෙන වම දකුණ ආකාරයට සක්මනෙහි යෙදුණා. පාදයේ ස්පර්ශ වන ස්ථාන මෙනෙහි කළා. විනාඩි 15ක් පමණ නොකඩවා සිත පවත්වා ගැනීමට හැකි වුණා. වරින් වර මාහට දෙපැත්තෙන් සක්මන් කරන යෝගීන්ගේ ඉරියව් හා ශබ්ද නිසා මගේ අරමුණු විසිර ගියා. නැවතත් මම පාදයේ ස්පර්ශ කෙරෙහි සිත යොමු කළා. 2. පර්යංක භාවනාව.
හරි.
මෙහිදී මම මගේ ඉරියව්ව පිළිබඳව මුලින් සිහිය පිහිටුවා ගත්තා. ශරීරය ලිහිල් කරගෙන හිස සිට පාදාන්තය දක්වා මෙනෙහි කළා. සිත සංසුන් වූ පසු ආශ්වාස ප්‍රාශ්වාසයට සිත යොමු කළා. මෙහිදී මට ආශ්වාසය පිළිබඳව දැනීම වැඩි විය. ප්‍රාශ්වාසය දැනීම අඩු විය. බාහිර ශබ්ද ඇසුන විට සද්දයක් ලෙස මෙනෙහි කළා. විනාඩි 20ක් පමණ පසුගිය අත්දැකීම් චිත්‍ර ලෙස වරින් වර දිස්විය. ඒවා සිතුවිල්ලක් ලෙස මෙනෙහි කළ අවසාන භාගය සිත නිදිබර ගතියකට පත් වුණා. මගේ ඉහත අත්දැකීම් අනුව සුදුසු උපදෙසක් ලබා දෙනු මැනවි. ඔබ වහන්සේ ඇතුළු සැමට තෙරුවන් සරණයි. I will give a brief English version. With your permission, Bhante, this is my first residential retreat. I am giving below my first day's experience. First, walking meditation. I selected the walking path and walked, maintaining left, right. I paid my attention to feet contacts. I was able to maintain mindfulness for about 15 minutes. Sometimes I was not able to pay attention. Sometimes I felt the other yogis, their noise, their sounds, their movements, and as a result, my mind got scattered. Now, again, I directed my attention to feet contacts. That is about the walking meditation. Sitting meditation, Parayana Bhavana. First, I paid mindfulness on my movements. I think it means, Iriyava means posture here.
Yes.
I think I paid my attention to posture. I relaxed my body and paid attention from head to the feet. Once the body was settled, directed my attention to breathing. In this instance, I had more mindfulness on in-breath, ashwasya. Less knowledge, less feeling on out-breath. When I heard external sounds, I thought them as sounds. Sadhyak lesa menehi. For about 20 minutes, I noticed previous experiences as paintings. Afterwards, I looked at them as, within brackets, thoughts, situvilla. Last half of the meditation, I fell into a sleepy mood. I seek your advice based on the above experiences. May you and everyone gain the blessings of the Triple J.
හොඳයි. කළා තියෙන හොඳයි පොඩ්ඩක් අතත් උස්සන්න පුළුවන්ද? හරි. මේක කරගෙන යන විදිය හොඳයි. يعني ක්‍රමයේ අහුවෙලා තියෙනවා. ඔක ටිකක් තව කරගෙන යන්නයි අවශ්‍ය වෙන්නේ. මොකද ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් අපි මුලදී සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම ඉවත් වෙලා තිබිච්ච හිතක් නැත්නම් හතර අතේ දුවපු හිතක් නේ අපිට තියෙන්නේ. හැමතැනම දුවනවා, අතීතෙට දුවනවා, අනාගතෙට දුවනවා. එහෙම හිතක් තමයි දැන් අපි පොඩ්ඩක් මේ හික්මවලා ගන්න හදන්නේ. ඒ ගන්න හදන විවිධ උපක්‍රම තමයි මෙතන තියෙන්නේ. ඒ උපක්‍රම හරහා දැන් පොඩ්ඩක් කයට හිත ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. මුලින් අපිට අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා ඔය වගේ කයට පැමිණිච්ච හිතක් අවශ්‍ය. හදාගන්න වෙනවා කයට පැමිණෙන හිතක්. ඒතර ඒ හිත හැදෙන ආකාරය තමයි චුට්ටක් දැන් මෙතන ලියවිලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒකේ සෑහෙන උත්තරට සාර්ථකත්වයකුත් ලියවිලා තියෙනවා. තව ඔක දිගට කරගෙන යන්න. එතකොට තවම يعني පුළුවන් තරම් අනිත් එදිනදා කටයුතු වලදී සිහිය පවත්වා ගන්න. يعني එතනින් සෑහෙන පල්ලුවක් එනවා වැඩේට. මේ ඉඳගෙන සක්මනේ විතරක් නෙමෙයි එදිනදා කටයුතු වලදී කොහොමද මේකටම නිකන් චුට්ටක් හයත් එක්කම ඉන්න වෑයමක් දරන්න. හොඳයි. So I mean what I was mentioning is very much like say our mind typically is distracted when it is not developed, which is when the mindfulness is not available. And as we develop body awareness using various techniques, various tools, then it becomes more and more associating the body. So the body awareness will improve and various techniques are available to do that. And the yogi has understood that. Now continuing, it's a matter of, continuing the practice. Yeah. Hari.
Most Venerable Bhante, it is in English. It is a great pleasure to see you in person. I have been listening to your Sunday Sinhalese Sutta sermons and Q&A session for 1.5 years. I wish to extend my gratitude. I ask for your permission and guidance on my practice. Sitting meditation. While seated comfortably on a cushion on the floor, I bring my attention to the tip of the nose and observe the in-breath and out-breath. Initially, both are long and rough. I am unable to discern in-breath from out-breath, but by observing the direction of breath, I also feel another rapid sensation like the pulse at the tip of the nose. I am able to observe about 10 to 20 breaths before I lose the focus to a thought. I am able to bring my attention back to breath. As the breath becomes subtle, I note the rapid pulse sensation. Pulse-like sensation takes precedence. It becomes a shake of head like a convulsion. It becomes it become a shake of head-like convulsion, and then the head starts swaying. I am unable to observe the breath then. I am indifferent to these movements and let them be. This happens in cycles between breath. With metta and gratitude, I humbly ask for advice. Walking.
Okay, yes, you can continue. No, I think we can continue. Yeah.
Walking meditation. I walked in the walking path. I walked in the walking path in the meditation hall, which is about 10 feet. I observed the sole of the foot touching the carpet, which is soft. After 3 to 4 rounds of normal pace walking, the walk gradually slows down. I am able to observe the pressure changes in the right and left foot consecutively for about 3 rounds. The pressure points in the right and left foot are initially different. I am able to observe the change of attention from right to left in step. After a while, walk happens in a rhythm. Then a thought would take the attention away from the foot. By that time, the observed differences between right and left foot fade away and both feel the same. The mind seems indifferent to these changes. However, the mind gets easily distracted. With metta and gratitude, wait your guidance.
Right. So as mentioned, so at the beginning, so the objects may be different. Say it may be in-breath, it may be out-breath, and there may be significant differences between these two objects. And even while walking, mentioned that the left foot and right foot has significant differences. But later, everything becomes very much like similar. So you can't recognize many differences, but same like information, same like details are available. So that is actually the evolution of the practice. So at the beginning, there may be differences, but later, so mind loses those differences, but it becomes more kind of one. But at that time, it's appearing kind of boring. So then mind get distracted. I mean, you don't need to avoid any of these. You need to continue. Allow the mind to get distracted, but know that it has been distracted. And once you recognize that, slowly bring it back. So it's a kind of familiarizing these states, because one of the important things is that the kama chanda, the sensual desire, is fairly responsible for our desire to look for distinctions, look for differences. So that is where we are more oriented towards looking different tastes. But the meditation practice takes us to a kind of a less sensual desired state. So at that moment there is no much sensual desire. So then we feel like kind of boring and mind has a kind of a monotony. So at that time mind again get distracted. So, but we need to continue. So the continuation of the practice is the only solution. Just, you come across this state and just go prepare. So when I reach this kind of state, I lose the differences between the different objects, and it becomes very much like a single type of experience. But at that time, let me be there, let me further continue my practice, and that will help you to even continue when there are no different objects, when there are no, say, different characteristics are available, it's say minor characteristics are available, how I am continuing. Actually now you can recognize, now just to give you an example, now suppose you are doing Vedananupasana. At the beginning probably we can recognize, okay, this is a happy feeling or pleasurable feeling, this is a painful feeling, this is an equanimous feeling. So we can distinctly recognize. But as we continue, so all these three can very much, the differences may lose. And kind of a feeling is there, you can't recognize whether it is, say, pleasurable or painful or equanimous, it is just a feeling. This is the continuation. So, but at that level, since there are no much differences, mind can get distracted. So, but the development is, so when it becomes when it loses all these differences, once it becomes just a kind of a feeling, am I able to understand how it is arising and passing away? So this is just a mere feeling. So this mere feeling is simply arising and passing away. That's it. And now you don't need to label it as a pleasurable feeling or painful feeling or equanimous feeling. You don't need to now label it. Kind of a feeling is there. Let me observe how it is behaving, how it is sort of changing. So it is leading you to further understanding of its behavior. So therefore we are doing well. But only thing is just go prepared when you are reaching that state and continue that. Time to time, sometimes you might fall asleep, but you can overcome that with the practice. Yeah, we can continue.
This is the
last one. Okay. So we have 4 minutes.
This is not related to meditation.
Right.
I think it is on the basis of the whole arrangement.
Okay.
But it is related to you. Venerable Sir, according to the teachings of Lord Buddha, he had always given equal status to men and women. Had he ever given any instructions that men and women should sit separate sides of the hall when they come for retreat?
I think there are few women in this side. So there are no differences as far as I can see. So, but I think we don't need to take it serious about this. Yeah. So if you prefer to, women are encouraged to come and sit here. So don't take it too serious. So you are welcome. Come closer here. Don't go far away. Okay. So that's all actually we have. I think we have spent 1.5 hours. I don't need to extend it further. And we are meeting again at 6 p.m. for the Dhamma discussion. And thank you very much for active participation.